I'm being dramatic, but the time has come. And I'm not quite ready to accept that this is the end of my very first home library. I'm so proud of it. And it's been my little oasis. It's where I have filmed for 3 years now. And I don't want to think too hard about it or I will get emotional. So I'm gonna bottle up my feelings for this video. If you don't know and you haven't watched any of my previous videos in the past few months, my husband Brock and I are moving to Tennessee, where we will eventually buy a house and settle down. But in the meantime, we are moving back to Virginia with family. So these books behind me and my husband's books in front of me need to be packed up into boxes, put on a moving van, and stored in Tennessee for the foreseeable future. We've been in this house for 3 years now. You guys helped in a video and a vlog build these shelves and watch me put them together. You've seen the change over the past 3 years of the additions of books that I've bought and the unhauls that I've done. The past 3 years have been the biggest growth, personal growth, that Brock and I have gone through. We moved away from home, came to a new state without knowing anyone, bought this house, and have absolutely fallen in love with Colorado. I'm not gonna get emotional. And today we're packing up the books that I own. Okay. I'm going to make a few boxes just to have them ready because putting the boxes together isn't hard, but it is time consuming. I think we should play a fun game of how many boxes Brock and I both will have. I think so far Brock has 2 boxes and I have 1 box because I did some pre-packing a few weeks ago. I think he's gonna end up having more boxes than me. I don't know why, because I think we have about the same amount of books. I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna say I'll have 8 boxes of books. Is that too many? I don't know. I think I'm gonna have 8. I think Brock's gonna have 9 or 10. And that's just a complete ballpark. I have no idea. I can't measure that. Let me make these boxes really quick. I've already started putting a lot of the decor away. I have a little decor box of the flowers and candles that I would have on my shelves. I've already removed most of them. I do have this weird little square over here full of candles that have been used too much and they are running low, or that I don't think will travel well because they're going to be in a humid hot box of a moving truck, and I don't think candles will last very well. I'm not really sure how to do that, so I'm not going to risk it. I will be getting rid of those. And I have no real organization process for this video. I have two views right now. Do I pack the way my shelves are because they're kind of just based off genre right now, or do I really just go for it and pull random books off the shelf, put them in here, and just hope my future self can handle the chaos? I think I'm going to do a mix of both. I'm going to try my best to keep genres together, but I do want to talk about specific books and go through them and sentimental kind of stuff, so I don't know where to begin. Maybe start with hardcovers because I don't have a ton of them, so that's, I guess, where we're going to start right now. I have a whole hardcover shelf, so I'm just going to start removing them, and if I want to talk about any specifically, I'll stop and talk. The Book of Asriel and The Throne of Broken Gods, which I did read book 3 in the series, but I decided not to buy it because I knew we would be moving, so I didn't want to spend the money on it. So this is going to be the first set of books going in. Then we have Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned. The 3rd book, I believe, actually comes out this November, which I'm so excited for. I'll probably be listening to it, and I won't buy the 3rd book until I know we have a house and we are settled. I don't want to spend money on a nice hardcover and then not have anywhere to put it. Wayward and Tress of the Emerald Sea. Actually, that fits very nicely in there. Then I have Legendborn, which I do have the 2nd book bloodmarked, and I have Illuminate, and I have the 2nd book Gemini, and I'm going to grab those from my TBR shelf to just kind of keep them together. I could keep my TBR separate, but I don't want if I have like 2 books in a series, so I wonder if this box is going to be too heavy. Then obviously Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, A Fate Inked in Blood, which is this beautiful edition that was gifted to me, so I'm of course keeping this, and I didn't love this 1st book, but I am willing to give the 2nd book a shot, and I know that just came out. So this is what we're looking like so far, and I think I'm going to try and fill it maybe with some mass markets that I have just to fill in some gaps, and these aren't too heavy, and I don't want to crush any pretty dust jackets. But I'm going to try my best to fill this box to the brim and keep smaller books in this one since there are hardcovers down at the bottom. I think I could do some baby books that I have that I've bought for our soon to be, so I'm going to put those in there because they're very, very tiny. Like these. I think for this box I'm good. I'm going to tape it up. This lamp really does add something to the room, and I'm sad that I just found that out because I only put it up there to get it out of the way, and then I turned it on one day in the background of a video and I was like, wow, I should have been doing this all along. And it's crooked and there's a nice cord, and I always try and hide that in the videos, but sometimes you can see it. But I thought it would be fun to not answer some questions, but as I'm doing this, go over some of my favorite books that I've read while living in this house, or some books that have changed me, my reading journey in general, and all of the fun stuff. So let's do box number 3, which technically with you guys it's box number 2, but I already have one box that I've, anyway. I guess first I'm going to start with my reading journey in this house. Some books that have changed me or my taste and how that has changed over the past 3 years of living here. And I first have to start with one specific series that I've talked about many times on my channel, but I do not think it has enough hype here on BookTube. Jade City. Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy. All 3 of these books I read. I remember at the first job that I had here, July 2022, I got a job right when we moved here, and I was reading this series at the start. So like literally the first week or 2 or month that I lived here, I was reading all 3 of these books, and I love them with my heart and soul. It's such a great found family fantasy series, darker fantasy series with a lot of trauma and familial issues. It's not like focused on romance or anything, but this is by far one of the favorite series that I've read here in Colorado. Oh no, it's so sad. Then for some reason I always like pairing Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom with Jade City because they kind of give that same dark fantasy energy. And I love this series as well, but I did read this back in Richmond, like 2021. Then, for some reason, I have kept these books. I loved Scythe, Thunderhead, and The Toll. Loved all 3 of them, but I have not really thought about these books since I read them back in Virginia in 2021. And I like keeping these kinds of books together. It just makes sense. They might not be the same genre, but these are going in here. Oh man, I have hardcovers up there. I just noticed that. They'll go in a different box. Then, this is a completely different genre. Like, this is romantasy for sure. This is the Jennifer Armentrout series, A Flesh and Fire series, and From Blood and Ash. I read these in 2021, 2022, very reminiscent of the beginning Colorado times. So I'm going to pack these up. They are heavy, and I'm actually missing 2 or 3 of the books from the From Blood and Ash series because I lent them to a friend and she never gave them back. So, next I'm going to put Discovery of Witches, this whole series in there. Love them. They'll always have a special place in my heart because this was the series that I accredit to getting me into reading. Then I might as well just put in like this Emily McIntyre series, her I don't know what if she even calls this a series. I started this series in Virginia and then have continued, they're out of order, but I continued reading them here in Colorado. And I kind of think these books are sentimental, even if they aren't. They're like dark romances. They're not sentimental books themselves, but to me, it got me into the dark romance genre of reading. This is where I first started, and I like it. I think in the next box, I'm going to test out just doing horizontal, or wait, that would be vertical. You know what I mean. They're all laying, most are laying this way right now. I'm going to try all of them this way. I'd probably save room. I'm just nervous about putting books on top of pages. Like these 3 right now are on top of those 2, and I don't really like that. And then, just because I want to get this shelf empty, I'm going to put Lights Out and Butcher and Blackbird, which I unhauled in the unhaul video, the whole Butcher and Blackbird series, but this edition is so pretty, and I really did like the first book, so I'm keeping this one. I just think it's a very pretty edition from the Bookish box, and I want to keep it. Okay, I think I can fit one more series or one more pile of books in here. Maybe some standalones. Like 1,000 Boy Kisses, which I read back in Virginia, but I liked it enough to keep it, I guess. It's a very cutesy young adult book that I don't want to get rid of. The Hunger Games and Catching Fire I'm going to throw in here as well. I don't want to buy the other books just yet, but I just have these two, so I'm going to put them in. And honestly, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to start putting some more baby books in there that we've collected. For example, The Little Prince, which I thought was adorable, more for adults, but I think in the future it would be a great book for my kids to read. Secret Garden, Ranger's Apprentice, Secrets of Our Earth, Puppy Puzzle. I grew up on these books. And The Christmas Puppy. So this is box number 3.
My guess at this point, because you've already got 3 boxes, you haven't really been touched into the land of Sarah J. Maas. So I'm going to say another 4 boxes, I think, especially when I consider
So
the
7
TV.
total.
Huh?
How many total?
7. I would say that I'll probably end up with 7 as well. I don't know, it's tricky. Some of mine are a little bit smaller and thinner flat, like some of the Penguins or the New York Review of Books. However, I do have plenty of big boys too. But you have some big ones. You have like duplicate series as well.
Yeah.
So we'll
So 7 and 7.
7 and 7.
Box number 4. I think the next box I'm going to make the all-time favorites box and try to, like the bottom of it, because I don't think I could fill it full of all-time favorites, but that's where we're going to begin with. I think you guys know my all-time favorite series and books, but let's get into them. I like sitting down. The books are really heavy. And it's hot and I'm sweaty and my pelvis hurts. Because it's directly behind me, I'm going to talk about Magnolia Parks. And I don't want to put this book away yet. I just read this one. This is definitely a top favorite of mine of the year. This might actually go in my Virginia box because I have a box in this corner of Brock and I's books that we're taking to Virginia. And I won't have a nice filming setup. We're going to be staying with family. I might take this book just to have like in the background. I'm going to think about this one. I'm going to keep it out for now. But I am for sure rereading the Magnolia Park series this year, but I'm going to be listening to it most likely because sitting down reading in the later half of this year is probably going to be more difficult. So I'm going to focus on audiobooks and my Kindle. These, the crappy American editions, the ones that aren't very pretty, were my annotating. So like I annotated them. These were the books that I originally got when I was reading the series. And then when I finished, I bought the fancy, nice editions from the UK. These covers are just beautiful. Beautiful. The detail, the attention to detail. And Jessa Hastings has her new book coming out, which I did buy. And I'm going to keep it with me in Richmond. Maybe that's a good idea. I'll keep Time of Your Life and The Conditions of Will with me in Virginia, just so I have 2 Jessa Hastings books on hand. That makes sense. Another favorite series of mine, you guys already know. He is my favorite author. Probably top 3. I just posted a vlog about it. Frederick Bachman. Let's put these 3 in there because Beartown is definitely my favorite. And since I'm putting Frederick Bachman in here, I'm wondering if I should just keep all the Frederick Bachman books together. Britt Marie was here. My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry. Anxious People and A Man Called Ove. This makes sense to go with my Jessa Hastings because they both are top authors for me, and I want to keep them nice and snug together. You know who else has to go with my favorite authors? Liz Tomford. Play Along and Caught Up. I don't own Rewind It Back because I read it when it came out, and I'm trying really hard not to buy books right now, even though that I have still bought some books. Trying hard not to. We still have plenty of room, so I'm thinking and I'm focusing like Fourth Wing is a favorite series of mine, but they're hardcovers and I like hardcovers on the bottom. It sets a nice base for a box. So I'm going to focus on some other paperbacks that I have right now, and I'm wondering if I put the whole Throne of Glass series in this box. So I did my whole reread of Throne of Glass 2 years ago now, which is crazy, 2023. She's a favorite. I mean, look at those tabs. They are very dusty because after I did my reread, they basically went on the shelf and I haven't touched them again. So they are going to be in storage for a little bit, and I'm so happy I have the original covers. Try and figure out if I can fit all of these in the empty spaces of this box safely. I think some of these clips are going to make people cringe because I'm keeping the books safe, okay? They'll be safe. I had to run downstairs to grab a drink, lunch, new tape, and a Sharpie, so we took a little break. But you know what I completely forgot is somewhere in this room I have little packets for protection against humidity. Humidity. And I forgot to put them in the boxes. Literally, I bought those little packets for my books in case of moisture and damage. And I know I taped all of them, but I might have to like cut a little slit in the tape and just shove a moisture packet in there and then retape it because I really don't want any damage to happen. So in future boxes, I'm going to throw those in. I think they will be a lifesaver if any damage were to occur. I need a bite of food. 4 boxes so far. I'm going to put together the final boxes that we have upstairs. We do have some more in the garage that I need to go grab, but I think this next box number 5, is just going to be a catch-all box. I'm just going to throw the miscellaneous books in here and then we'll see what's left over for the other boxes that we have. So I still have the bookshelf over here to this corner. I still have my TBR cart and then the shelves remaining, and I still have quite a few. It's been an hour so far. I'm just taking my time. So this box is very miscellaneous, but I actually like the way I organized it. Under this little stack of paperbacks right here, I put hardcovers down below, and it really gave it like a nice sturdy base. And box by box, I feel like I'm getting used to the organization system, so I'm going to throw a few of those pods in here, which I think are over here. Yes, silica gel something to dry to enjoy. I'm going to throw a few of these in there. Box number 6. I am pretty sure this one is also going to be another miscellaneous box. I'm just going to start throwing paperbacks in there. I think I said that I would also have 7, just like Brock's guess. I thought I would have 7 boxes. This is number 6, and then I could get to 9. I feel like that's more reasonable now that I'm looking at all of these, but I don't know because these are a lot of paperbacks, so we will see. This series always reminds me of doing the smutty video with Brock, because the Dixon rule caused a lot of people to laugh at Brock's response to the stuff in this book. And I'm gonna try to keep El Kennedy together, and probably this whole shelf will just go in here. We've got some Hannah Grace and Heartstopper 1 and 2, which I do have number 3 on my TBR, but I'm debating throwing that into my Virginia box. I'm gonna put Elsie Silver in there as well, so Wild Love, which I didn't really like Wild Love, but I have the pretty edition of it and from the bookish box, so I'm gonna keep this one. But I'm not reading the rest of that series. I did not like it. Then the Chestnut Spring series, of course. I'm gonna stack them like this. Oh, I keep forgetting. I gotta throw one of those pods in here. Lauren Asher is on that same shelf. The Dreamland Billionaires series. I guess this is just going to be my romance box because I'm going to keep chucking romance paperbacks in here. Christina Lauren is next. And I might as well do Emily Henry. Is it about to rain? It keeps getting darker and darker in here. I do have some extra wiggle room in here, and I think I'm going to redo this little pile because it's not looking even for some reason. I'm throwing Waking Olivia Out of the Woods and Red, White, and Royal Blue in here if I can fit them. Okay, I lied. I'm not going to be able to fit them. Yeah, those are not working. On to box number 7. I'm just gonna keep chucking books in here. I keep like trying to think of a method and I've completely lost the plot. This series reminds me of when I did reading y'all's 5-star video, The Prison Healer. I read that one and I loved it. This is a 4-star young adult series for me, and young adult is always kind of hit or miss, so I was very happy about this one. Belladonna, I think I thought I owned Foxglove, the second book, but I don't think, maybe it's not on here, so. Not my favorite romantasy series of all time, but they're good audiobooks, and I really have enjoyed the audiobooks, even if these aren't quality. I think I'm gonna throw in the Fourth Wing series in here, and I have this really pretty bookish box edition. I love this one. The cute little gold cuffs up here, I really, really adore. we're getting out of the fantasy genre, like the romantasy, I need to find some other throw. Here we go, these will work. I actually DNF'd these 2 books, but I want to give them a try in the future, and I also think Brock could potentially like these 2 books, so I'm going to keep them in case he ever decides to get into fantasy. Which, then these 2 books I also read back in Virginia when we lived there in 2021. No, wait, I only read this one. I haven't read this one yet. Now I'm going to get into just my last little tiny cubby that's full right here, which is my historical fiction. Basically just Kristen Hanna and Kate Quinn, but I love these books. Obviously I want to keep them nice and safe, so I'm going to put them in here. It's also like so hard to go through some of these books and just remember where you bought them. Like some of these I got from Denver at bookstores, or I got from friends, or Poor Richard's, our favorite bookstore here in Colorado. So it's just like kind of sad. And this one was a book club pick on Patreon. Like all of the books that I have some kind of memory linked to them. And I think that's really special because it doesn't have to just be the book itself. It can be when you read it, or where you read it, or who you read it with, and there's so many different things that make a book sentimental, and I love that. I do have a little bit more room in here, and I don't know what I'm going to put. I might just put some TBR fillers in there because these shelves are full of romance paperbacks, and I want to try to keep them all together. And actually, I think my TBR cart is coming to Virginia with us because I've seen people use it as like a postpartum caddy, and I'm going to use it if I can, if it fits, because we're only taking the truck to Virginia, so it has to fit in the truck, and there are other things that come before this, so we kind of have to see if it fits with us. I'm going to throw another TBR book in here just because there's a little bit of room, like awkward room. I'm actually going to try and look around my room, my library, and see if I have something that can go here, not necessarily a book, but just something, because this is such a tiny space, but I feel like something should go right here. Okay, box number 7. Oh no, I do have an issue. Okay, so we've run into a minor problem. Sonic Storm will not let this box close, so I have to find a new home for it, but I don't really want to split up my Rebecca Yarros books, but what I think this could do, again, like I said earlier in this video, separating it, which is going to piss some people off. I know it kind of pisses me off, but separating it from the box could actually cause chaos later, a fun kind of chaos, where I have to find the other books. So I'm going to take this one out and find something else to go in this little spot. I did boxes 8 and 9 by myself because it was raining, it was super dark in here, and I did them with my final 2 romance shelves. A few mystery thrillers I threw in there. That was it, I think. Harry Potter I already did. So yeah, it was like my Tessa Bailey, my Emily Henry, my Allie Hazelwood, Chloe Walsh, all of those books were in those boxes. So I think I have officially surpassed my guess, which was 7 or 8 books, or boxes. And now I'm on box 10. I think this is going to be my last box. If anything, I think it could be like a 10.5, and Brock can fill up the rest of that last box for me. Gallery wall I still have to take down, and this little pages wall I have to take down as well, and I want to do that today just to get this whole room kind of done with. And I did save the best the best books for last, plus a few mystery in my random cactus. After a break, I am back with the last box. This is box number 11. I have some random, literally like just some hardcover mystery thriller, and then 2 Sarah J. Maas books that wouldn't fit in box 10. So the only thing after this pile is my TBR cart, which some of those I'm really debating. I don't want to say it, but reselling, I don't know though. I need to go through them one more time, maybe add that to the unhaul video. I DNF'd the favorites a few months ago, but I'm waiting for the audiobook because I heard the audiobook is really good. I was in a book slump when I started this, and it did not help me out of my slump, so I'm going to take this one to Virginia. I think I'm going to pack this one. I'm going to add this one to my unhaul pile It's on Kindle Unlimited, and I have tried to read it like 3 different times and cannot get into it. This one, also from my TBR cart, I'm going to take to Richmond. Honestly, I could probably read this one today. These 2 Jennifer Armentrout books I'm going to add to my unhaul pile because I'm not going to finish this series. Jennifer Armentrout and I, we've grown apart. I feel like it's the end of an era. Again, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but this is sad. I do not like the empty shelves. I filled up 11 boxes of books, way over what I thought. Really did try to fill each box to the brim while leaving a tiny bit of wiggle room and throwing in those humidity pod things in there, dehumidifier pod, whatever. And since Brock is packing up his shelves tomorrow, maybe if I remember to film a little bit of him doing that and how many boxes he fills up. My goal was to take down the gallery wall and my little pages wall. I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. I am feeling so tired. It's actually been 5 hours. It's been a long day. Like I took 2 breaks and they lasted about 30 to 40 minutes and I am exhausted. So I'm going to be done for the day, pack up the rest of the trinkets and everything tomorrow, get rid of those candles, and put up my shelves for sale because I didn't even tell you guys kind of our goal in the Tennessee house when we do get a house in Tennessee. We want a whole room dedicated towards our books, a home library, office, whatever you want to call it, but we want floor to ceiling built-in shelves. These will not be coming with us. I think I'm going to keep my little guy, like the short little one, because I've seen really good closet hacks where you can take a Billy bookcase and kind of put like a little rod and hang it. Like, I think it'll be cute for a closet. So I'm going to keep this one, but these behind me I'm going to sell. And my little sign, I don't know where she's going to go in the next house, but Brock got that for me before we moved to Colorado, and she has to come with. Chair and this little ottoman, they're coming along. They're going to be hanging out in here until the movers come next week. So thank you guys so much for the past 3 years supporting me here in Colorado. I feel like this is definitely where my YouTube has done the most growth. I'm excited for our next adventure. We've got so much coming, so much to do in the next year, but I have faith that I'll still be here on YouTube and I'll still be reading because I have 11 boxes of books. I can't stop now. But that is it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to support my channel, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Brock ended up having six and a half.
6.5.
Yep. That little half box right there. But you could put, I don't know, what other books do we have? All the unhaul books.